Welcome back, everyone. The first stage of Shadowlands is about to begin with the pre-patch event. Zombies will be invading, Icecrown once again will be relevant, and there is much that you will be able to do, including getting your legion of freshly leveled up characters geared up and ready to enter the Shadowlands, just like how I am geared up and ready to get around regional restrictions with NordVPN, today's sponsor, which is available at my link, 68% off at $371 a month, and you get your first month free. Why use a VPN, right? Well, it's simple. Do you want to watch content from another region, say on Netflix? I mean, seriously, check out Japanese Netflix. There's way more on there. Easy. Use Nord's 5,000 plus servers to choose your location and use the internet like you were there. Get around those region blocks. Also, they keep you private, which is pretty sweet. Your ISP won't know what sites you're using. That means they can't sell your browsing data to advertisers, nor can they prioritize some of the sites that you use over others. Also, I think this is important, Nord are a Panama registered company, so your government can't get to them to breach your privacy. And what's great is the user experience. The app and the browser extension are super easy to use, and yes, 68% off and a free month at nordvpn.com/Bellular Gaming. A big thank you to them for supporting our team. That support really is going places. You'll see what that is soon. And with that said, let's get right into the video. When you first log in during this event, things should pretty much be chaos. Death will be all around you, unless you manage to log off somewhere that was nice and isolated. So what's the first thing to do? Well, outside of going around and having fun as a zombie, or maybe a zombie exterminator, it's time for you to go get some gear and get some context for the Shadowlands. You see, the ultimate goal of week 1 of the pre-patch event is to respond to the plague and to put an end to Nathanos Blightcaller. The quests for week 1 basically amount to a reconvening of your faction in your faction capital, and then flying through the starter zones to gather reports and clean up some Scourge armies in either Duskwood or the Barrens. It should really only take you around 20 minutes to get sorted from beginning to end. Though that said, a Scourge outbreak is going on, so maybe it'll take you a bit longer. Of course, though, the most time-consuming part of this is making your way to the Eastern Plaguelands to take out Nathanos Blightcaller, in exchange, of course, for an item level 100 bit of gear and a cinematic. Now, Nathanos is a full world boss, so yes, you will need a full stack of people to defeat him, and you can actually kill him weekly, for more loot, of course, or, for the joy of killing Nathanos, finally. Now, once you've seen that stuff play out, you're done. That's essentially it for week 1. There is not a whole lot going on. There's only one thing left, and that is the single available daily quest to kill zombies in your major city. Beyond that, though, well, just have fun leveling up some characters and spreading the Scourge around the place, or doing other pre-patch related activities. Whatever it is, you'll have to wait till week 2. Once the second week rolls around, it is time for you to head to Icecrown. Now, if you've got a character from back in Wrath of the Lich King, and you have the Argent Tournament Tabard, then that'll be pretty great, because you'll be able to teleport to the tournament whenever you want, and because you'll be going there daily for the dailies, that'll be dead handy. But okay, the Argent Dawn are actually operating out of the tournament grounds, so the first thing for you to do is to head there and start the quest chain that sets up, basically, us to understand our villains' motivations as we go into the Shadowlands. And by the way, if that sounds good, our 2-part Lich King series will really make the Shadowlands, the Lich King, and the Jailer click and make sense for you, so check those out. Now, the quest chain itself is a very standard World of Warcraft set of quests, which is, I guess, pretty nice, though really it should not take you more than an hour to do. Basically, go kill some Scourge and aid the wounded at the tournament, then go scouting the Cult of the Damned bases in Icecrown, which should all feel pretty familiar because, as with all cults in World of Warcraft, we of course get some of their robes, we go in disguise, we investigate, we cause some chaos, rescuing prisoners, sabotaging cauldrons, and then of course we drop a ton of bombs in their armies. We confront their leader, which is of course our first interaction with a denizen of the Shadowlands. And that is the narrative content done, but there is more to cover. Alright, time for the real meat of your gameplay to begin, the daily quests. So, there is that first daily quest in your faction city from week 1, but then there are more dailies that are actually available once Icecrown opens up, although only 4 of those will show up for you on any given day. Now, some of them are available as soon as you complete the first quest in Icecrown, but others do actually unlock after you complete the full quest chain, so do make sure that you actually finish out that quest chain on your first day so you can get all of the dailies to maximize your commendations, which are, of course, your big resource. Now, these are also standard quests. Kill specific mobs, free some prisoners, pick up and use some items, you know, the works. Thankfully, they did not reuse the Argent Tournament dailies that involve you, going to that lake for the sword for the 18 millionth time. So yes, that is the daily content. Next though, let's talk about the rewards. The daily quests that you do will give you Argent commendations, and these can be used to purchase catch-up gear and some goodies like the Putrid Geist pet and the Anti-Doom broom. Now, the gear is item level 100. That is the equivalent of normal Ny'alotha gear, and actually, it will give you a leg up in your initial Shadowlands gameplay on your fresh alts, because it's better than the gear you'll get in Bastion, so pretty good if you've been leveling up characters in the revamped leveling system. And there's actually 9 pieces, there's a piece for basically each of 9 armor types, so you really can fill like a lot of your character slots with this stuff. Sadly though, there's really not that much of use here for the transmog because these are unique appearances, technically, but they're basically just gladiator-colored versions of the Season 1 Aspirant gear. That's the same appearance as the ARATHI Warfront set, which is of course the one we've been, looking at all through BFA, so not much for the transmog. They are though really useful for alts or catch-up gear. They cost 15 commendations each, and you will be able to earn 17 commendations a day from doing your dailies. But also, there are Scourge Stones. These are green and blue rarity items that you can actually turn in for extra commendations. And if that seems familiar to you, it's because it's actually a nod to the original Argent Dawn grind from quite some time ago. The green ones can drop from any Scourge mob, and the blue ones, of course, are rarer, though the zone bosses do drop multiple of them. Now, these trade in at a rate of 1 commendation per 25 of the green ones, or 3 commendations per 25 of the blues. So, you know what that means. If doing your dailies is not enough and you want that gear faster, yeah, you can just set a few hours aside and you can go and grind the hell out of some mobs so you can get that gear real quick. Now, of course, that's not all, because there are also some Wrath of the Lich King era callback bosses that are in the zone as rares. They are pretty tough though, but of course, when there are anywhere between 10 and 50 players wailing on them at once, they do not last long. And of course, the stars are Patchwork, Noth, Putricide, Lanathel, the Black Knight. Basically, if you killed an undead boss in Wrath, there's a high chance they're going to show up in this event. Now, those bosses will actually drop level-appropriate versions of their original gear from their Wrath of the Lich King drop table, so that's pretty cool. And of course, that also can be a fun source of transmog, gear for your character, and also some nice weapons as well, if you're fast enough to get the tag in. There is one special boss though, that is it Brozharm? He's the boss from the Forge of Souls that is a callback to basically the guy who did soul music, and he drops a 34 slot bag, so that's pretty cool. You'll want to take him out as well, and he is one of the zone rares. That's it. There you go. That's basically it for the event. Now, of course, outside of this, there are the ongoing invasions of the Scourge, which basically run as a kind of backdrop to the Argent Dawn assault on Icecrown. So, with that said, let's talk about the Scourge invasion. Okay, time for a rundown of how the invasion works. So, well, either you know what to look out for, or, you know how to avoid it. Right. Zombies will show up in Stormwind and Orgrimmar, and they will start to infect players and NPCs with their attacks. Once hit, you will die in a minute or so, and you will then become a zombie yourself, unless you can get to an Argent healer in time. Because no player mechanics or anything can help, you need to get to a healer, or you will turn into a zombie. Good luck with that though, because at least in the PTR, the healers were often, of course, the first NPCs targeted by zombie players. Now, these healers, of course, will do a lot of damage to zombies, so you will need to bring quite a strike force of zombies with you if you want to bring the healers down and really spread that plague across the city. Now, if you are so inclined, there are other ways to cause chaos if the healers have been taken out, and it can get quite fun. I mean, zombies can basically clear out NPCs with ease and, leave the city barren of anything useful for a start, so there is that. But the next, and maybe most fun, is to bring the plague as far as you can spread it yourself, and that can be quite fun. And this is basically where that whole 1 minute timer till infection gives you a lot of time to get around the world and to start causing chaos in the player hubs, right? Because you'll turn into a zombie in a minute, but during that minute, you can still fly around as a player. So you can go to a transport hub or something like that and get ready for chaos. I mean, one of your abilities as a zombie is to self-destruct. And that self-destruct will instantly infect players and NPCs in an AoE. So you want to land that on a bunch of players who think they're flying high enough to avoid your attacks. And if you do that, you'll get some great sadistic fun, which I guess is what a zombie invasion is all about. Now, if you're one of those lawful good players who just wants to, go and get your business done in the city, yeah, I mean, good luck. Your only recourse once zombified is to just die and respawn. But luckily for you, and unlike some of these events in the past, it basically rolls on a rotation of sorts, right? So the chaos is not up all the time. Basically, it comes in waves every few hours. Some people think that's a shame. Some people think that's a good thing. I'm going to leave that out of this video. Now, there is one type of player who will be immune to this thing, though, and that is any newcomer players from Exile's Reach. They will have immunity to all effects of the invasion because, yeah, it may not make for the best new player experience for you to come off the newbie island and then just not know what the hell is going on. So there you go, that is it. That is the pre-patch event. There's not a massive amount, to be honest, but the zombie invasion is a pretty fun way to spend some time. And, hey, a bit of player-driven chaos, that World of Warcraft hasn't actually seen in, over a decade. And yeah, on the content side, I mean, there's not that much content, but if you want a whole bunch of gear and you want to get some 34-slot bags, then, hey, it's a pretty decent thing to do. All in all, then, the event is, I'd say, definitely worth logging in for the experience. You may as well get some gear and get a 34-slot bag, kill some old bosses. And it's a pretty good way to just get yourself into the flow of some WoW gameplay, perhaps with some new classes. I mean, if I actually get the time to do that instead of making content based on the PTR and the beta, then yes, I would love to do that. That's what I would intend to do. So anyway, that's the pre-patch event. Hope you have fun with it. And yeah, with that said, won't be too long until Shadowlands itself comes out. Pretty hyped for that. Okay, that's it for me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.